Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flake Show. My name is Chris Wong. Aloha Fridays. There is a little bit of development for Supergirl. Possibly. Not sure. It could be rumors right now. But according to Omega Underground, which is like the GWW, a source today, right after today's news today's news broke, echoed the same sentiment that Warner Brothers would shift focus to Supergirl and that movie likely a period piece set in the 1970s, though this could change with the young Kryptonian as a teenager would knock Cavill out of the running for appearing in that particular time period. He would still be a child then. So that was from, this is coming from the playlist, and that is after the news about Henry Cavill possibly dropping out. Of course, TMZ then reported that whole fiasco that conflict was fake. What it actually happened was that Henry Cavill said no deal on the Shazam cameo, whatever money that was, and so out of that came out to being, oh, he's out of Superman, but that's not the case. He's still negotiating, meaning he didn't accept the offer that they offered to him, but that means there's still negotiating going back and forth between Henry Cavill and Danny Garcia and Warner Brothers in those terms. So that was interesting. There's also from Mario Robles on Revenge of the Fan podcast says he heard this not from him, but he heard that Warner Brothers was kind of taken aback that news of him dropping out of Superman came out, and so in a way they threw out DC Universe just to get the conversation to another direction. But a lot of people didn't even care about DC Universe at that point. They were trying to figure out the whole Henry Cavill thing. But anyway, we're not going to hear too much talk about Henry Cavill as Superman. It's still negotiating apparently. And so we'll hear more news. I'm happy for that. I'm happy that he is not dropping out of being Superman. They're still negotiating his contract, like all the actors and actresses out there are always negotiating his contract. This is Superman. That's why it's such a big deal. But in any case, Supergirl, they're still talking about Supergirl. And now it's going to be set in the 1970s. I don't know what to think about that. Quite honest, I don't know what to think about it. It almost feels like to me like Wonder Woman 1984 and possibly the Flash origin movie. I don't know if that takes place after Justice League. From what we've heard, Aquaman takes place after Justice League, but we'll see. We'll find out there. But this whole thing about it's taking place before Batman, it's going to be a prequel and everything. It's almost like they don't know what the future holds, right? They don't know what to do after Justice League, per se. I don't know where Birds of Prey ends up, and all the new gods and stuff like that. But it just seems like they don't know what the future is going to do. So let's make stories earlier in the timeline, so we don't have to figure out what's going to happen afterwards. And so 1970s Supergirl is going to be one of them. It's a period piece in the 1970s. I mean, I know we're going that retro route. We're going to go to the 80s, we're going to go to the 70s, and I don't know, 60s. One of these days, one movie's going to go in the 60s. Whoever knows. Maybe that's the Black Hawk one. But oh no, that would be like 1940s. But anyway, 1970s, a Supergirl movie. I mean, I guess I could go. I was really hoping for a modern take of Supergirl with Superman being involved, and that could mean just being very, very selfish in wanting Superman in every single damn movie because I'm such a big Superman fan. It could just be that, all right? But hopefully down the line we can get something like that. What's gonna happen? Is she gonna come back through time? Does she not age like Wonder Woman? I know Superman doesn't age as fast. I can't remember. I was talking to a friend today. Was there any interpretation? I mean, there's Kingdom Come. There was Dark Knight Returns, where he didn't age as fast as the other, humans and his friends and stuff like that. But not to this point where Supergirl is in the 1970s. It's very interesting, very strange, but I'm willing to look at what kind of a movie that would go to be, and I don't know if that's why they don't know what they're going to do in the future, so they're just going to stick with young stuff, but I'm interested, but I'm not really too on board yet. And according to Omega Underground, I know they had almost like a fan directed fan casting as the directors, fan casting and fan directors for this Supergirl movie, and one of them was Reed Morano, which they're claiming that they're part one of the wish list of candidates for the upcoming Supergirl film, because right now it's being penned by screenwriter Oren Uziel, is that how to say his name? So they want to remind that she hasn't met with them at all. And then speaking with Moran about the possibility of taking helm of the project, she too clarified that there have been no calls with Warner Brothers, but that she is interested in the prospect. She said this: I don't know if it's really a thing, but I like the idea of doing something new every time, so I don't say no to any idea. I'm always thinking how I can bring something new to the table that still feels authentic to the story, not doing something just for the sake of doing something new. But if there's a reason for me to do a Supergirl in particular, then I would like to do it. So she's open to that fact. Her for the movie that she was, this is being interviewed for. What is it? Is it Looking? What movie is this that they're talking about here? Because there's also Peter Dinklage. Oh, I think a post-apocalyptic film she's making called "I Think We're Alone Now." It stars Peter Dinklage and Elle Fanning. And so Peter Dinklage and Elle Fanning also expressed that they would love if she could direct Supergirl, and they even liked the fan cast of Elle Fanning as Supergirl, as Kara. Now I couldn't find any too much fan manips of her of Elle Fanning as Supergirl. If you guys can do that, that'd be pretty crazy and awesome. Right now, I've only found this one where it just looks like her head's just really too big. But that's what's flowing on the internet. I'm not very good at putting faces on characters and stuff like that, so I'll just use that. But this is all pretty much fan casting by Omega Underground. Okay, so nothing it's not even a rumor. It's just that they think that Reed Morano is on one of the wish list candidates for that movie, and so they just put Elle Fanning in that picture and Reed Morano as a director and see how that goes out. But I figure if it does come true, well, they want to do it. So if it does come true, at least we know this group of people, I don't know Peter Dinklage, but Elle Fanning and Reed Morano would love to do a Supergirl movie. And we'll see. We'll see how it is. If it's really a teenager, Elle Fanning can still pull it off as a teenage girl. And she could probably be really good at it, but let's see first. Let's see what happens before that. Now we know we don't have anything too much about the Snyder cut, but Zack Snyder did put this out yesterday, an incredible photo of the Justice League. It's black and white. It's from that Letitia camera, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Ramesh colored it, and that's what I used for the thumbnail because it's an awesome picture. That is the Zack Snyder shot. You can tell because Batman still has his goggles, and that is fantastic. I mean, I'm so happy he's posting Justice League material again. And then he even confirmed that the storyboard, Man of Steel storyboard, we thought was Man of Steel First Flight, but Film Junkie knew better, that it was for the First Flight 2.0. So it wouldn't be called the Second Flight? I don't know. But it's it's the flight where he goes and gets his suit from the ship, well, we're assuming, and he flies off. So that Zack Snyder confirmed on Vero that is from Justice League. Now that is awesome. So that is confirmed. Oh my God, that's Justice League, right? And then we're getting some few bits and pieces here. We're getting a little bit more clips now for of Justice League. We got a little bit an extended clip of Wonder Woman grabbing the bomb and throwing up. We don't know if that was actually a Zack Snyder shot or Joss Whedon. Who knows? Because we're seeing extended Joss Whedon shots as well. There's also one where Cyborg jumps into the bat bat crawler and or the Nightcrawler, is that what it's called? And then he plugs in, and it just scans a little bit to the right as he activates Nightcrawler and stuff like that. But it's just really small, but very interesting that that's coming out as well. All these little clips and pieces are being pulled together. Who knows? Maybe some other fan edit will include them now, but that's interesting as well. And so we're getting just a little bit of that, but nothing, no word from Warner Brothers. They've got some new division type of moving around and rearranging Warner Media Entertainment stuff, and which is okay, but it's, per business as usual. We also got that DC universe running on your app and on the computer, but nothing much. And so there are some people who are trying to look into this a little further. And like I said, if you put your tinfoil hat on, right? If you put your tinfoil hat on, like one of my friends on Twitter, I won't say who, I don't want him to embarrass him, but he put this down, and it makes you kind of think if you are a believer. So in 2 weeks, we got No Retreat, No Surrender. Then we got the original cut, or that Star Wars Han Solo, Zack shot first, right? Or Han shot first, but he could be interpreted as Zack shot first. We get office pictures of the director's chair, okay? Then we get a picture where he actually specifically said this Fortress of Solitude. Now, in this timeline, Fortress of Solitude, then the picture that he posts after that is Soup's flying out, right? And we assume that's after he gets to the Fortress of Solitude, he puts on his Superman costume, he flies out, and then he flies to space. Then yesterday's picture of him joining the League and saving the day. Is that a timeline? It just seems like a timeline to me for the people who are believers, for the people who are wearing rolls and rolls of tinfoil right now. But it is fun to think of it that way, and it's really entertaining to entertain those little bits and pieces, and try to string them together and to form some kind of narrative that maybe just maybe Zack is really trying to tell us something. All right, guys. Well, that is it for tonight. I may have a video a little bit later, as I'm trying to really wonder if Zack posting Justice League stuff again has anything to do with Henry Cavill. Probably not, but I think it's just fun. It's just really fun to think about. Just really fun to talk about. All right, guys. Well, anyway, have a great and wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.